What's going on, guys? TKD123 video, and today we're going to be discussing, a very hot topic of mine, at least, something I get very passionate and heated about, and I got inspired to make this commentary this morning. Now, Drake released 2 songs this morning. It's Tuesday morning, the 5th of April, and I forgot the actual titles of them, but I know it's featuring Jay-Z, Kanye West is on it, and some other people that are in the 6 that are big, up there, up-and-coming artists, but I'm not listening to them. I am a huge Drake fan. You guys know that from my last video that I did about the Views from the 6 release date, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know, how big of a Drake fan I am and all that, but I am not gonna listen to this, and it pains me to say that. It pains me to stay away from those tracks, even though I want to listen to them so bad, and they've been getting so much, good feedback from the tracks, but I'm not gonna listen to them because I cannot guarantee that these tracks won't be on Views from the 6. And this is probably the biggest thing I have an issue with right now in, today's music as a whole, right? It's that the object of tracks that are put out to publicize an album release or publicize an artist when they're about to release an album, and those tracks end up being on that album, aka singles, right? I feel like tracks like this create speed bumps in albums and ruin them, right? It ruins the experience of getting a new album and listening to it in its full entirety, because then if you have tracks that you already know, right, the album has speed bumps. They have things that you're gonna skip over anyway, right? So let's say a 12-track album, if you know already 5 songs, and and that's because the artist already released them as standalone songs, but they put them on the album, now you're down to an 8-track, 7-track, I can't do math, whatever, how many tracks, you know what I'm saying? Like those tracks, at least to me, those aren't a part of the album because I already heard those before. So it's almost like those are just guaranteed skips, at least from my perspective. And that's why I don't like singles in 2016, right? And those are not necessary in this day and age of music, right? Those, I feel, are not necessary. Artists don't need to release tracks to let their fans know that they're coming out with an album. It's just not necessary to me because they have social media. They have the power of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Like they can reach their audience in ways that in the past they couldn't. And in the past they did rely on tracks to be released, on the radio so that their fans know that they are coming out with an album or that, they're working on new music, right? Because there wasn't the internet back then. There wasn't a way for you to tweet out something to all of your fans, right? That just wasn't a thing back then. And now that there is a thing like that, like, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, there is really no reason to have a track released and then put that same track on the album that you're trying to promote, right? I would have no issue if these artists just put out tracks and it was just a standalone track, right? It was not going to be on any other album or any other EP. You could put on the EP, whatever. But I'm strictly talking about an album sense that's up for sale, right? Because I feel, ripped off, because I feel like I double paid for a track that I already heard, and on top of that, I'm losing the album experience of listening to it in its full entirety, right? Singles are just not necessary in today's world. And for example like that, let's look at J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive, right? J. Cole announced that album 2 weeks prior to it coming out, right? He released the artwork, he released the title of the album, he released when it was going to drop, and a track list, I believe, was released, I think, a week prior. I believe there was a track list that released kind of before the actual album, but he never released any songs from it. He had nobody else on the album, right? And it dropping in December 2014, right? The last month in 2014, that album became the highest selling album of all of 2014. All of 2014. There were albums that released in January of that year, and J. Cole outsold them all without a single, without features. You know what I'm saying? He did it all through the power of social media, right? And that's how I feel that every single album should be released as of now, right? because when you go back and listen to the album, you listen to it in its entirety. I remember listening to that album in its full entirety and being amazed and being blown away because I could take in all the tracks and it be linked to every single other track, and it, having this album having a straight to the point story and straight to the point narrative that you needed all the tracks, right? But let's say he released what's the track on that? Fire Squad, right? Let's say he released Fire Squad as its standalone track and then put on the album. Then now I'm gonna want to skip over Fire Squad and I'm gonna lose the overall effect of that album that's supposed to have an effect on me. I'm gonna lose that because I'm gonna tend to want to skip that track when I finally get my hands on the album because I already heard that track, and that just ruins the whole album as a whole, right? Because you need all the pieces of the puzzle, right? I just that's just my opinion on singles in 2016. I feel like they are not needed. There was a time when they were needed, obviously back when there was no internet, no Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, as I said before, but I feel like they are not necessary and they should stop. I am sick of it, right? I want to listen to those Drake tracks. I want to listen to those Drake tracks that he released right now, but it's safe to say that those two tracks will most likely be on views, and that just irritates me. So that's all I gotta say about it. Sorry I got a little heated, right? But it's just, it's a passionate topic of mine, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys enjoyed the content, please support the boy. In the description, you can find links to my Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, right? And if you like the channel, support the channel, subscribe, like, share with your friends that love gaming and music and entertainment, all that good stuff. And thank you guys for watching the video. I got you.